The crystal chandeliers of the Hawthorne Ballroom cast a golden glow over Boston's most exclusive charity gala. Women in designer gowns adorned with diamonds glided across marble floors while men in tailored tuxedos exchanged business cards disguised as small talk. Catherine Winters adjusted her sapphire necklace beside Eleanor Madison and Patricia Reynolds. "The new hospital wing better be named after someone worthwhile this time," Catherine remarked. Last year's donors were hardly established. A newcomer entered. Emma Sullivan stood in a simple beige dress, modest and painfully plain compared to the couture surrounding her. No statement jewelry, no designer clutch. "Who invited her?" Patricia whispered. "And in that dress, it looks like she's here for a job interview, not a $5,000 a plate charity event." What none of these socialites knew was that Emma had spent the morning touring the hospital's current pediatric ward, promising a little girl with leukemia that the new wing would have windows facing the garden where butterflies gathered. "I don't believe we've met," came Catherine's cultured voice. Catherine Winters, hospital board fundraising chair. "Emma Sullivan. It's lovely to meet you." Catherine's smile remained fixed as her eyes assessed Emma's attire, finding no designer label. "And what brings you to our little gathering?" "I'm just passionate about children's health care." Eleanor and Patricia drifted closer. "We don't often see new faces at these events," Eleanor commented. "The Hawthorne Gala is usually quite exclusive." "Well, every small contribution helps, I suppose," Patricia added. "Though tonight's donors are mostly in the 6- and 7-figure range." "Your dress," Catherine began, voice dripping with false concern. "Is it vintage?" "Just simple," Emma replied unperturbed. "I find elaborate designs distracting." "How practical," Catherine replied, the words sounding like an insult. "Doctor." James Harris approached with a warm smile. "Miss Sullivan, I didn't know you'd be here tonight." Catherine's eyebrows arched. "You two know each other?" "Miss Sullivan visited our pediatric ward this morning. Spent hours with the children. Little Sophie hasn't stopped talking about the butterfly garden you promised her." As Emma excused herself, Patricia leaned in. "My goodness, Catherine, wherever did they find her? She looks like she wandered in from a job fair." "The hospital probably invited some everyday heroes for publicity photos," Catherine replied dismissively. "You know how it is. The working class makes for touching brochure stories." The women laughed, completely unaware of the tidal shift about to upend their carefully ordered social hierarchy. Richard Thornton, the hospital's executive director, tapped the microphone. "Tonight marks a historic chapter for Boston Children's Hospital. For the first time in our 150-year history, we've received an anonymous donation that has left our board speechless." Catherine frowned. Anonymous donors didn't fit into her social calculations. This individual contributed $25 million specifically for our pediatric oncology wing, with the single condition that the new garden terrace be called Sophie's Butterfly Haven. Dr. Harris's eyes widened, searching until they landed on Emma. "Our extraordinary benefactor has given us permission to acknowledge them tonight. Miss Sullivan, would you please join me on stage?" Catherine's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. "Ladies and gentlemen," Thornton announced, "it is my honor to introduce Miss Emma Sullivan, founder of the Sullivan Foundation for Children's Medical Research and our lead benefactor." Catherine's glass nearly slipped from her fingers. "When I was 12 years old, I spent 9 months in this hospital fighting leukemia," Emma began. "Today I'm fortunate enough to give back. The Sullivan Foundation was created to ensure every child receives the same quality of care that saved my life." Catherine remained frozen, her world tilting. The woman she had mocked wasn't just wealthy. She was a legend in philanthropic circles with resources that dwarfed the Winters family fortune. Through the pressing crowd, Emma caught sight of Catherine and her friends. Dr. Harris appeared at her side. "I wanted to see their faces when they realized." Catherine approached, designer heels clicking. "Miss Sullivan, what a wonderful surprise. Had we known of your foundation's important work, but you didn't need to know," Emma interrupted gently. "That's rather the point, isn't it? You saw what you expected to see. A woman whose worth you measured by her clothing rather than her character." "We meant no offense," Eleanor stammered. "Yes," Emma agreed. "And tonight has certainly been illuminating about what those standards truly are." Director Thornton unveiled the donor wall. Where Emma's name should have appeared at the top was instead, "In honor of Sophie and all children fighting battles beyond their years." Miss Sullivan has requested her contribution remain anonymous, Thornton explained. She believes the focus should remain on the children we serve. Catherine turned to Emma, tears glistening. You've shown me something tonight I desperately needed to see, she whispered. Thank you. We all need reminding sometimes, Emma replied, that our true worth isn't in what we have, but in what we give. 6 months later, sunshine spilled through Sophie's butterfly haven as Emma guided the wheelchair-bound girl toward a monarch butterfly. See how the wings open and close? They're gathering strength for flight. Just like me, Sophie whispered. I'm gaining strength too. The garden exceeded Emma's vision, a sanctuary where healing transcended medicine alone. Catherine approached, her smile genuine. She'd resigned from 3 social committees to devote time to the hospital's patient support programs. I owe you an apology, Catherine said, not just for that night, but for a lifetime of measuring people by the wrong metrics. Your actions these past months speak louder than words, Emma replied. I think I was asleep for most of my life, Catherine said simply, making judgments based on appearances. They've taught me more about living than 50 years in Boston society ever did. As they watched Sophie coax a butterfly onto her finger, Catherine spoke quietly. That night at the gala, it wasn't really about the money, was it? No, Emma acknowledged. It was about seeing beyond surfaces, about recognizing that true worth isn't reflected in clothes or bank accounts. I judged you by your dress, Catherine said. And now I try to see people as they are, not as they appear. Emma squeezed her hand briefly. We're all works in progress, Catherine. The butterfly doesn't start out with wings. Together, they joined the gathering where children's voices filled the space with song, a chorus of hope from those who understood the precious nature of each day and the true meaning of transformation.